Hey guys, welcome back to my channel for a life update. I had to film this video first before returning to YouTube because a lot of things have changed in the past couple of months. I think my last video at this point may be 2.5 months ago. So a lot's happened. I have to update you guys on what's going on in life in general before I just jump back into vlogging. I have vlogged over the break. However, I feel like none of it would have made sense because there's a lot of changes and it would have brought up a lot of questions. So that's why I'm here to do this video, to give you an update. I asked you guys for questions on Instagram just to see what you guys were curious about. I knew what most of the questions were gonna be, but every now and then there's questions that come in that I didn't know that you guys would want to know. So that's why I asked over on Instagram. So I want to go ahead and jump into this video. I have no clue how long it's going to be, but it already feels super strange being back with the light and the camera. And yeah, so I'm just going to go ahead and get started. First of all, I'm doing great. That was actually a lot of your questions, like how are you doing? I'm actually doing great. I just missed YouTube a lot. It was a big part of my life, and it took a back seat whenever I moved here and started nursing school. So I'm just happy to be back, and I'm hoping that the schedule in my head that I have worked out is going to work out, and it's going to be back not to normal, because I'm not going to be able to post like 3 videos a week. I'm hoping for at least 1 a week, and if I can commit to at least 1, I'm hoping I can get to at least 2 a week, and that would just be awesome. So major questions from you guys. How are the kids? Okay, so Aniston just started 1st grade today. Today was her first day of 1st grade, and I definitely teared up. I feel like time just flies with kids. It's like you blink and it's all these milestones have passed. So she started 1st grade today. The twins are still going to their daycare center that I love. They take such good care of them. They both are walking, which is actually a recent development. Neither of them walked until about 17 months. And I was honestly kind of getting worried about it because Aniston walked at 14 months. So I was prepared for it to be about that time with the twins, but as they weren't walking, I was kind of getting nervous. But now they're walking. Winslet especially is all over the place. Rafe doesn't really like to walk, but he can. I think he just gets a little bit lazy because he's such a chunky monkey. But it's awesome. I feel like a whole new woman now that I can walk with one beside me and hold the other one. I feel like I just have like so much more free hands, and it's definitely been a game changer. Okay, another major question that I got was, is the divorce final? Yes, it's been final for a little while now. I didn't do any kind of big update. I don't want people to think that because I updated I was celebrating it. I am glad that the process itself is over. I think we both are happy that it's over because it was kind of drawn out. But it's been final for a while now, and Brian and I are getting along perfectly fine. Like I said, once we started getting along in the process, things just got easier, and I think that it's just easier for us to get along for the sake of the kids. And I'm obviously excited for him to come back to the States soon. His deployment will be over soon, not too soon, but it is coming up here like relatively quickly. So I'm excited for him to come back, and I just can't wait to see that reunion with him and the kids. I think it's going to be very emotionally driven. I'm obviously going to film it for YouTube. I want to have not necessarily the whole process, but I do want to show you guys their reaction to their dad coming home, especially Aniston's. I'm sure we're going to work out something with the school. And with the twins, the daycare already knows the situation. So I think we're going to work out something there too. But I'm not really sure how they're going to react, if they're going to be scared or cry. Or I'm not really sure how, because they do FaceTime. But I think that maybe seeing him in person, that might be a little bit different obviously for them. So I'll keep you guys updated on that. But I can't speak too much about it until after it's already happened. For obvious reasons, they have a lot of rules regarding deployments and homecomings and what you can say. So you guys probably won't know until you're actually seeing the video that he's already back, just because we're limited on what we're allowed to say. Okay, another question about Winslet's kidney issue. So I posted a lot more of this on Instagram than anything else when I was doing stories. But Winslet, she had recurrent UTIs, or urinary tract infections. We were told it possibly is reflux. We did do an ultrasound that showed hydronephrosis of her kidney. So we actually went to Birmingham, which is about 3 to 3.5 hours north of us. and we saw the Children's Hospital at Birmingham at UAB. And it actually went worse than I thought it was going to. I was kind of thinking we would just go in there and they would just say, you know, it's like a stage 1 or 2 reflux, she's going to grow out of it. However, after all the tests, they did a couple different tests whenever we were up there, and they came back with it being stage 4 vesico. It's called vesico-urethral reflux. So she's actually on medication for the next year. It's a little capsule you break in half and you pour half out and you put it in her milk. And so she has to do that every day for the next year, and their main concern is the infections. So if we can't keep the infections away, they want to do surgery. Right now we're still seeing how it's going. She's only had 1 infection since starting the medication, but we just started it, so I'm not sure you know, if that infection was already gonna happen or was already starting. I'm not really sure, but so far so good. She tolerates the medication well. We have to just wait for the next year and see how she does. A lot of questions too about where I'm living. I'm still living with my parents. I'll be here until I graduate. It's just so much easier this way. The clinical hours are early. I'm working now. Those hours are early, so it's just easier to be here, especially with the clinical days and things like that, to have help. And especially if I, you know, at nighttime, if I need help with the kids, say they go to bed and I need to run to Target, like my parents are here, so I can just go. I plan on being here until I graduate next summer. I'll move out as soon as I graduate from school. Okay, a lot more questions about school. So the major update that I have with school is that I swapped from the LPN to the RN program. When I moved here, I applied to both programs. However, I only got into LPN because I was still currently taking some of the prerequisites for the RN program. So I didn't have those points to help back me up to get me into the program. So I started LPN in January. I would have graduated as an LPN in December. However, I made the decision to swap over to RN this semester instead of graduating as an LPN, mostly because I wanted to graduate as an RN a little bit faster, so I will save myself about 4.5 months of school, as long as I don't fail any semesters, fingers crossed, because I am stressed. Ever since I switched over this semester, it's definitely a lot different. They just teach different ways, and it's a lot to adapt to, and I've only been in school for 2 weeks, so I know that I need to just give myself some time to get used to it, but it's definitely a game changer swapping over programs. But that's the major update with school, swapping from LPN to RN. Now, obviously I mentioned that I'm working too. I did start working. I'm almost done with my orientation process, and I actually took a job as it's a nurse intern job. However, technically it's a patient care tech. You just have a few more privileges once you hit your 3rd semester of nursing school, and you get paid like quite a bit more once you're in your 3rd semester of nursing school. So I just I just waited till 3rd semester because I knew that I could go into one of those roles right away. And I love the hospital that I work for. I work on a cardiac neuro floor. Lots of interesting things that I get to do on the job, and it's nice to be able to work and apply information that I learned at school and seeing it in real life, hands-on with patients. So I definitely think that this experience is awesome. Plus, whenever I graduate, I will continue working for this hospital because they are paying for the rest of my school up until I graduate my RN program. So I will owe them 1 year of work, but I could not have picked a better hospital to be at, and I love the floor that I'm on, so I might just even stay on my floor if I can once I graduate. But so far so good. I am working PRN, so basically a schedule comes out and I just pick the days that I want to work, and they're really good with working around school schedules. So obviously that's very important because school has got me like strapped completely. A lot of questions about moving back to Iowa. At this time I don't have any plans to move back to Iowa. That could obviously change. I do owe my hospital 1 year of work since they graciously are paying for the rest of my school. So if I were to move back, I wouldn't even be thinking about it until I was getting close to the end of that year. So that'll be 2 years from now. I graduate in about 11 months, and then I have a year of work. So that's something that I can't even really think about. I did tell Brian about that. He's perfectly fine with it. He honestly would prefer that I stay here in Alabama. We've actually talked about this several times, and he feels like I would be better staying down here because I do have family and I'm used to being down here. So either way, it's just going to depend on what I'm thinking will work best for myself and the kids at that time. But right now I don't want to stress about it because we have so much time. Big question. I knew this was going to be a big question. I mean, almost every single square mentions this. Obviously a lot of you have been inquiring, am I still dating AJ? I think a lot of you started messaging me when you saw I deleted my TikTok. I did delete that TikTok. I forget, I think I deleted it in July, and that kind of sparked a lot of messages on Instagram, people commenting, asking like why I deleted it and things like that. AJ and I broke up in June, but there is absolutely nothing crazy to tell you guys about it. Him and I are still friends. We still text. We still see each other. We just have different plans in life. And when we first started talking and decided to start dating, in my mind I had like a plan for my life. I kind of was just like, screw it. Well, not like that, sorry, it's not the way I meant to say it. I was just kind of like, I will never get married again. I don't want to build a life with anyone. I just want like myself and my kids. I was kind of in that mindset that a lot of people are in. I just kind of wanted to do it all on my own, like essentially forever. And him and I were very same page with that. But the more we dated and the closer that we got, I could see that our lifestyle, like we just weren't going to be on the same path, if that makes sense. And it was mutual. Even though I was the one that kind of ended it, it was very mutual. He was very understanding. We have a lot of love for each other as people, which is why I feel like we'll always be friends in some capacity. Like we even talk about like dating now, like post each other. I mean, us being broken up for almost 3 months at this point, like we have both gone on dates with other people. And I think that we give each other really good advice because we know each other so well. I just deleted TikTok because it was a lot centered on us being a couple, and that wasn't really accurate, you know, post that part. I only left it up just in case we decided to continue doing that or whatever, but then I just decided to delete it. So I didn't want to have any kind of fake persona that we were still together, if that makes sense. But it was definitely the most civil breakup I've ever had with anyone ever. I know a lot of people were thinking that we were like going to get married and all this kind of stuff, and that was never the case. We were never gonna ever get married, even if we had been together for like 5-10 years. Looking back now, I think that us dating just kind of complicated things because now our friendship will be limited, especially in dating other people. I have dated since him mostly one person. I am dating one person right now, and it just kind of, it wouldn't really be respectful of the person I'm seeing now to be hanging out with him alone, especially. I just feel like there's a line that we have to kind of respect since we did date. I'm trying to work that out, like what's appropriate and what's not. I do want to remain friends with him. However, there has to be boundaries, and I know that he feels the same way as far as he's been dating as well. So I feel terrible that, not terrible, I mean, that video of us is still up here. I am going to take it down though, because again, that kind of puts up a fake reality that we're dating. I am going to take it down. By the time this one goes up, that one will be gone. But I don't regret bringing him on here at all. He's such a great person, and I love him to death as a person. Like, he is such a good soul, and I'm so glad that he's in my life. So I don't regret at all bringing him on here or anything like that. Please don't ask me a ton of questions about the person I'm dating now. He just found out that I did YouTube. He's never even seen my page. He has no idea what it's called. I lied for a long time saying I didn't even have Instagram. I think I want to keep them separate for as long as I possibly can. So I'm not going to answer any questions about him or anything like that right now. I think I'm just going to wait because I may have just done it too early the last time. So when the time comes, if I feel that I want to do that, then I will do that. But it's not going to be anytime in the near future, just not even close to the time frame that it was last time. A lot of questions about when I say I'm coming back to YouTube, what do I mean for a schedule? I'm going to try 1 day a week to hold myself to 1 day a week video. I don't know what day that's going to be on yet. It really just depends. I would like it to go up on either Friday or Saturday mornings. However, because I do clinicals on Thursdays, I'm not sure how much time at night I'll feel like editing or have time to edit, because those are going to be long days for me. So I'll keep you guys updated on what kind of schedule I'm thinking. It might end up being Wednesdays though, so it's either going to be Wednesday or Friday most likely. But again, as long as I can get one a week out, I think I'll be happy with that instead of sticking and forcing myself to a schedule. But definitely probably Wednesday or Friday, and I'll keep you guys in the loop on that as well. The last question I'm going to answer, because I can see this video is kind of getting long, but I've hit the major points. Someone asked me if I was going to work as a nurse when I graduated, or if I was going to go and try to be a death investigator like I plan to. If you're newer to my channel, I did go to nursing school with the intent on graduating as an RN and getting a job with the medical examiner's office as a death investigator. That's actually why I went to nursing school, was because I really wanted that role. It's not possible here. The closest I can get to that would be Mississippi and Texas, and there's some I think in North Carolina. I don't think it would be wise of me to leave here and work in a different state like that. I might as well just move to Iowa, because it would make more sense if I was going to move to go back to Iowa, since the kid's dad is going to be there. But I do foresee myself, obviously, I'm going to work as a nurse regardless when I graduate because of my contract. But again, I don't know, as much as I love that career field and I really want to do it, it's just not something that I really can put too much thought into right now, because I know that I'm going to be here for at least another year of school and 1 year of working. So that's something, again, that I'll look at a later time. I wish Alabama had a program like that. That would be a dream. We don't even have medical examiners in this town or in the towns nearby. The nearest one, I think, is 2 or 3 hours away. So that could be an option too, I guess, at some point, but they don't have that program. So it's only certain programs that I would be able to work for. So it really just depends on what it's like in a couple years and where I'm going to be at. Now that I feel like I'm out of breath, ran a marathon. I hope that this answers all of the burning questions that you guys have. I know that the major points I answered in this video. I do miss you guys, and I miss YouTube and pulling out my camera and sharing my life with you guys. It just got really taxing for a while, and you know, for me, it's like at any point, if YouTube becomes too much, I'm just not going to do it, because it's not the career that I want to have. And I know that all the moms that get to do YouTube who want to are very lucky, and I'm happy they can do that if they want to do that. But I just don't see myself being a YouTuber as a career. But I do always want to have YouTube as a part of my life as long as I can do it. I would love to have you guys along and share, you know, my life with you. And because I've connected with so many of you guys from, you know, 3 years ago, almost 4 years ago when I started, to now. And I hate that I can't put as much effort into it right now, but you know, mom in school has to be #1 in my life, and that's what I'm gonna do. So I love you guys. I'm happy to be back, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.